So here's what we got, guys. I bought a counterweight system from Stellarview for a telescope, and I inquired about getting extra ones, so you can get extra counterweights. This is an original. So I ordered 3 more, and then I wanted them because they didn't have them in any other weights, just this size. And so I ordered 3 more that I would have a machine shop take the face down evenly on both sides. Since you've got a center hole here, I needed the same amount of stock taken off both sides on 3 different sizes to give me a different weight. So what I did is I mic'd the ones that I had that I ordered extra. They were all about the same. They were all the same. So then I weighed them, and then I said, okay, for the thickness that you have here, I took that and said, how many 16ths of an inch are in there? And from that point, then I said, okay, I came up with a number that each 16th of an inch in width would be a certain amount of weight. So I said, if I want to have a different size weight, how much would I need to take off to get 3 different sizes? So I came up with one counterweight would be 5/16 of an inch off on both sides. Another counterweight would be 7/16 of an inch off on both sides to make it even. And then the last one would be 9/16 of an inch taken off both sides. And then that way you'd have 3 different sizes. I'd make my own weight by just taking stock off both faces. Now, it took many months for this place to do these, to get to them, which I understand. They've got their own work. And so finally, yesterday, I went to pick them up, and I looked at them first, and I was amazed at what I saw. Now, here's the one that is thicker, that they took off the 5/16 per side. Now, look what they did. They didn't put any brass between the jaws. And what kind of a rookie move is this? That they would literally, I don't know if this will show up, there's indentations here. I don't know if you can see that right there. There's indentations. And then these deep marks, like I said, right here. Why in the hell would that even occur? How could that occur? That's the first thing. I don't know if it's going to show up well, the tooling marks, how they did this. And this is a better one. Just sloppy. And here's the other side of that weight. Trying to get it the light to shine on it to show. It's probably hard to do. Now here's the next one at 7/16 per side, and you can see this right here, that heavy burr, that heavy, I mean, you can see it there, it's terrible. Again, the same thing. Didn't use any brass. And then I don't know what we got here. You can see where they and then a little bit here. And again, not using any brass to chuck these up. And then for whatever stupid reason, they used a CNC mill to come in here and do this. I mean, look at that surface. This is fine if you're making out a pocket, you're building something and you need to pocket something out, and that surface is fine. But why would I want that when this is what they were given? I just don't see how this was even allowed to get to me. And I don't know, it's going to be hard to see because of the shiny surface, all the tooling marks and everything. But again, that's, now this is the one with 9/16 a side. And as you can see, they really did a good number on this. And I don't know what we got going on here. Looks like that got hit with an end mill. Looks like they came in and hit that with an end mill, and they screwed up. And then here you can see they use the CNC mill to come in and make multiple passes, when they should have just left a few thousandths on there and then come in at high speed and come in and just use the tool and then just clean up that face, and they'd have been nice and shiny. Now, I don't know if, again, this has really got bad tooling marks. This really shows up. I think you can see this even better here. What kind of bull crap is that? Yeah, this shows up even better. You can see it here. I just don't understand how something like this was able to even get to a customer at some point. Now, I asked the owner of the shop if he had seen these. He told me he didn't. I find that very hard to believe. And I said, would you accept these? He said no. And so then, and again, this is the good one right here. This is one that hasn't been touched. And so he said something that led me to believe he had seen it. He says, well, you know, he says, can't say too much to the guys. He said, you piss them off, and then they'll leave. And he said, it's hard to find help. Well, if you got help like this, what the hell? I mean, this is just what... I mean, the very first thing you know is to use some brass on the chucks so that you don't get these big, deep indentations. And then to continue on and allow this, when you see something that is good, why would you think that this was something that the customer's going to want? So the owner told me, well, I can either take them or he would rework them. Problem with that is you're going to have to take stock off the diameter, okay? And whatever one was the deepest, I want the same amount of stock off all of them. And then, oh look, we got a little friend here. And then he'd have to clean up the faces. Well, the problem with that is they're no longer going to be the same diameter as the originals, and they're not going to be to what I requested, what I wanted off. So that was just going to be a cluster. So I told him, well, let's try that. But then when I got home, I thought, you know, it's just not going to be right. So I went back. The owner wasn't there. I picked them up. They were open till 8, so I went and picked them up. And the one guy that was there when I picked him up, his name was Rodney. I showed it to him. I said, do you know who did this? No, I don't know. Because I told the owner, I said, hey, is this guy brand new? Does he know what the hell he's doing? And again, how does Tom, well, he's the owner, how does he not know? How did he see this? He's the one that called me and told me they were ready. Apparently, maybe if he didn't see them, he just took the word of whoever did them. You'd think he'd take a quick look at them. And I asked Rodney, I said, hey, what's up with this? And I said, and I showed him all the marks and the toolings and marks and all that. And he said, well, he said, maybe he didn't know what it was for. And I thought to myself, what the fuck are you talking about, guy? You don't know what it's for. It doesn't matter what it's for. And I said, well, if I brought a car in to paint at a paint shop and it had a bunch of orange peel, would I have to tell the person that I don't want orange peel? When you see something that comes in good shape, a nice shiny surface, okay, like the original, why in the fuck would you produce something that looked like this? And why would you do something so amateurish as to gouge the hell out of the diameter by not using brass to keep the jaws from marring? It just, there's no excuse for it. There really isn't. So what's interesting is Tom never offered to buy me a new set, because that's what should have happened. And just to rework them, well, they're going to be out of spec. And then he told me, you know, it'd have to be when he gets time. So there's some more time down the road, and you're still not going to have what you want. So I called him up today, got home early from work. Things are starting to slow down. And I said, hey, Tom, I said, I looked up the price. They were $39 each from Stellarview. I said, would you be willing to buy me new ones? I said, plus shipping. I said, I'll go ahead and order them, send, and email you the confirmation, and then I said, I can just get a check from you, and then I'll just bring back the old counterweights, because I don't want them. He can have these back. He said, yep, he would do it. So he's making it right, but he never offered. I had to ask. Like I said, I'm just amazed that something so amateurish is what happened here. And when Rodney told me, well, maybe the guy didn't know what they were for, it doesn't fucking matter what they're for. You got something in good shape that looked good. You should know that the customer doesn't want it to look like this.